Well, hello there yet again. We're here with another live stream, and this time we're going to be doing Dire Maul West. Got my typical group with me. Got my paladin bot, shaman bot, priest bot, and my mage. You'll notice my UI is a little bit different. I've been using Belgarth's new UI setup. Actually, I'm a pretty big fan of it. Yeah. But let's hop right into it. So, I've done some revamping of the dungeon. Mostly for just one boss. I do have some revamping for another boss as well. We're gonna do this just on normal mode without any instance options this time. But yeah, I need to go through and update the textures for this place because you'll notice they're still the old textures. I might do another live stream maybe of how to do some upscaling. I just did a video on how to upscale images, but I think it might be good to do another one. Just make sure my volume's okay. It's always hard to tell, because OBS will tell you one thing when it comes to volume, and then when you go back and listen to your stream the next day, it's like super quiet. I would love it if there was just like a standard volume for everything. Like, seems like some movies, when you're watching them, they have like really loud parts and then really quiet parts. Same should be true for streaming video games. Maybe I'm just old, I don't know. So I am going to clear these guys out. It wasn't scripted in before that they would pull on the first boss, but they pull now because I added it in. So that's how it was intended. Think of all the wings in terms of Dire Maul, of what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. This is probably my least favorite. But it's also one of the more straightforward ones. I think the only exception is when you're doing the side corridors. That part's not so much straightforward, but just go around, kill the things, unlock the last boss. Pretty straightforward. We've been doing... I'll show you after combat, but we've been doing quite a number of... Oh, I'm gonna die. Hold on. Pulled way too many. We've done a lot of revamping to the Heritage Horizons menu. I'll show that off in a minute. I guess there was one that I forgot. And we have another prestige system that we're going to be working on too, so it'll let you add more stats to your character. I'm worried about balance, so that's going to be taken into consideration, but I think it'll be good. It'll be limited to how many times you can add additional stats, but So yeah, new Heritage Horizons menu. We've got a lot more abilities. Oh, I still have my Find Treasure on. Let's just get my Blood Fury back. We'll just go with that. I've updated a couple of the spells so that they're a bit more balanced. Passives we have more of now. Weapons and professions are all there. I removed Portable Forge and Anvil and put them on here. I know that might irritate some people, but that's okay. Find resources won't be default anymore. It's something that you pick up here, and you can't switch between professions. You can only do it once every couple of hours. So if I unlearn that, and let's just say I learn Silvervein Touch, I can't unlearn it until an hour is up. So otherwise it makes these racials kind of pointless and being able to swap whenever you want. Alright, so he's the updated guy. You're probably wondering why he has so much damn health. It's because of the mechanic. I'm just going to have him stand there. Basically you have these trees and you got to kill them. And they will increase the damage he takes. You got these little wisps that run into him. And he gets stronger the longer the fight goes on, so that's part of the reason why we have the trees. If you don't manage to kill the trees, they end up doing a bit of AoE damage to your group, and they'll summon a treant. So you gotta be pretty quick on those. I like to keep him in the middle with my tank while we run around the room. And of course, balancing is still going to be pending, but looks like I didn't get it in time. I don't know. Oh, I did get it in time. He just sucked it in pretty quick. Okay. So yeah, right now is every time he sucks in a wisp, he takes 25% increased damage, stacks up. Right now, he's also dealing quite a bit of increased damage. Oh, shoot. Hold on. And the debuff lasts 45 seconds, so you want to make sure that you're actually staying on top of these. Oh, will I get it? Ooh, I barely got that one. But yeah, and you'll also get an area trigger warning. I put that in there just so people know when trees are spawning. Oh no, I got rooted. It's a nasty mechanic. Try to kill a tree. There's another one somewhere. I think towards the end of the fight I'll let it explode just so you can see what it does, but our tank is hanging in there. Oh, that one almost dropped off. But yeah, kind of fun. You get to see your damage numbers get pretty high because of the increased damage, so... Oh, there's another one. Hold on. Let's see if we'll get it. Did we get it? I think we got it, yeah. So now he's at 6 stacks and 20 stacks of berserking. Oh, there it is. I don't think we'll get that one. Nope. So Trent, whatever we want to call him, spawned. I'm taking a lot of damage now too. That's gonna suck. Well, that just fell off, so... Tank needs to pick that guy up. Yeah, I think missing that tree was a big no-no. Where's the other one? There it is. Sucks because I was doing so much damage too. What? I didn't get that one in time. Come on. Yeah. So you can see how things can go south pretty quickly if you don't get the damn trees. So Tank's dead because he's been taking too much damage, but I may lower his health just a little bit. I think that would be good. Actually, let me do GM on because I'm in combat. Let's see. Tendrous. It's always a pain trying to figure out what's the right balance between easy and pain in the butt. I'm going to show my other screen real quick while I do this. So, Tendrous probably needs a little bit of a health drop. Right now he's at like 141. Let's do 131. Obviously that won't take place until I restart the server, but you know. I don't remember those things being there before. Did I skip those? I don't remember skipping those. Maybe I did. That's interesting. I've noticed that shaman totems have been keeping you in combat a little bit too. Oh, that's funny. He just stayed there. Got resurrected there or something. You gonna buff me, dude? Maybe he's bugged out. Let's do that. Okay, yeah. Supposed to give me kings. Okay, there we go. Should probably give wisdom. Oh, it's got wisdom on him from the totem. Okay, let's try that again. Visual bug. Alright. We're just gonna move you this time right there. So the first one spawns 5 seconds after. Then they spawn for 25 seconds, something like that. Alright, where are you at? Yeah. So yeah, biggest thing is trying to get your bots to move over and freaking do damage to things, but they're pretty good at that for the most part. If I just do that, there we go. Yeah, spells being cast on the tree, I may end up using a different creature model because for whatever reason, when you cast a spell on it, it likes to go up nowhere apparently. But that creature model was never intended to be used as an enemy, so I get it. I just don't think there's probably a better tree model out there. Maybe the one from Ionar. Okay, where is it? I don't see it this time. Oh, there it is. Kill it. Kill it with fire. Kill it faster. There we go. It's good one. It's a good thing that one was pretty close by. So. Where are you at this time? There you are. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Seriously goes a long way for me. It's been a fun little project. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, so yeah. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Ooh, did I get it? I think I got it. Yes, I did. Alright, so he's taken 175% increased damage at this point. But yeah, seriously, Patreon goes a long way. Especially after looking at taxes this year and how much I spent on the repack. Because, you know, custom art and stuff like that is just not cheap, but it really, really helps. I'm just glad I'm able to write some of it off at least. We're just gonna let that one go. I'm gonna go ahead and kill him now. Let the Trent spawn. We've got 200% increased damage going on. And we are good. Yeah, so like I said, probably decreasing the health a bit on that one. Well, I already did, but you know, I think it's a fun mechanic. And then the pain, yeah, this is the part of the instance I really don't like, is this boss you have to do on the sides. I think it's just because the trash is like, it just feels kind of random here. Like, how do we put interesting trash here? Well, just make a bunch of wandering ghosts. Alright. And I think that's the fault of the people who designed the instance, like the layout. Not so much the people who have to do all the NPC placement and stuff like that. They should have had different objects and stuff, so might be something to redo later on. Like Karazhan did good. I haven't been involved in Duskhaven for a while now, probably since last year. They still use a lot of the guides that I put out, which makes me feel good, but I guess I'm involved that way. It's kind of fun. Yeah, whenever someone doesn't know something, how to do something over there, I always see my videos get linked, so it's one of those things that definitely helps make me feel good. But yeah, I just have a hard time working on other projects that aren't my repack. I think it's because, I don't know, maybe I have control issues. I like Duskhaven. I think it's gonna be good. I'm just busy working on my own projects, I guess you could say. Plus I like the freedom to be able to do and come and go and work on the things that I want to work on whenever I want to work on them. So yeah, I hope they stick to it too. I hope they don't run into any sort of issues. I mean, I know timelines are always hard to stick to because you have a team and you have stuff that they're supposed to get turned in. I probably didn't help with that regard because there was stuff that I was supposed to get done that I never got done, but you know, I did warn Kevful and Crane, the two server owners, that I wouldn't be available for very long and that I'd be inconsistent. So hopefully they understood that, but yeah. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. They've got a really talented team, a lot of good people there. So I think that obviously the more you add to the game, the more difficulties may arise. It's like whenever you code anything, right? You make one cool thing and then you break like two others. So it's always a matter of like trying to make sure you're not breaking things in the process, and then fixing those things that you break. But well, it's not even like breaking things, it's like things not working as they're supposed to anymore because you overlooked something. Like with this new Heritage Horizons menu for racials, there's occasionally a log on to a new race where they still have one of these racials as a default spell, so I have to remove it and add it. But it's little things like that occasionally that kind of just add up. So yeah, retail's kind of a different issue. I feel like when you're in a larger team that doesn't really communicate well together because you have these different departments that just, you know, don't hang out. They don't even talk about their own projects with each other. I think it makes it really difficult to collaborate. So, yeah. That's why I like small teams or, you know, working on my own, one of the two. I like the team that we have with the Dinkledork repack at the moment, though. Belgar's really helpful. He seriously offsets all of my weaknesses when it comes to like UI elements and stuff like that. Artwork. Same with Falmarillion. The launcher's actually a pretty big deal. Why am I still in combat? What am I in combat with? I think shamans are an issue with combat, but let me go check to make sure. Just get turn geo mode on, get out of combat. But yeah, so great team right now. Belgarth, Falmarillion, Ralph Abbey, Tanatos and his database work recently has been really good. So, like I said, there's just everyone I'm happy with. So there's a few people who are quieter than others that are, you know, working on stuff too, but it's interesting. So that flashing, by the way, me trying to press Holy Wrath, I have no idea what's happening. Maybe it's the cam tools acting up. Yeah, that's weird. I use the, while I'm streaming, I use the camera tool for, what is it called? It's the WoW Machinima tool. So I'm sure there's key bindings in there that I'm not aware of. So weird. I guess I'll just click on Wrath whenever I need to use it. I'm just gonna clear trash over here while the boss comes over here because I don't want to clear more than I have to. But yeah, it's interesting listening to some of the old developer interviews for World of Warcraft, because it's obvious that they had a lot more camaraderie back in the day. And then as soon as things started getting bigger, it's like that's exactly when communication stops. So you got interdepartmentalization, and then all you get are people irritated with each other because they don't talk. So they can't discuss, you know, what it is that they're trying to accomplish with each other. But grab the bear too, Mr. Tank. So yeah, the other bosses in here have pretty minor updates compared to Tendris. I feel like Tendris probably needed the most work. It was kind of boring. Same with the last boss, but I didn't do too terribly much on that one either. That's not bad drops. Actually, that's a pretty good pants. I give those to my priest. Those gauntlets are not bad either, actually. I already have a pair. Weird. How come you're... What do you have equipped? I need to extend this window more, apparently. I thought I had it extended, but... Do legs. Yeah. Legion was a really good expansion. And I think, I mean, I heard a lot of good things about Dragonflight. And yeah, I'm totally on board. It's really hard for me to go back to retail just after playing a single-player project. Maybe someday, but even, I mean, as good as like Season of Mastery looks like, I think for me, the appeal right now in my life is time, and I get plenty of time to do what I want with a single-player project. So I don't have to wait on other people. You know, my bots wait on me, but... And if I want to, I can still play with friends, you know? So... I can go at my own pace. I don't have to feel rushed to get, like, to max level super quick, so I can start raiding, you know? think there's a lot of appeal to it, but is the game meant for single player? No, but I think it does fine as a single player game. And honestly, bots are only going to get better, so you know, I think the next couple of years for WoW emulation, especially the single player side of things, is just going to get better. Thunderstorm, yeah. I mean it does feel like an Ascension ripoff. But that's what happens when you're slow. Like, you just take forever to respond to a need from your client base, and someone else gets there before you. But yeah, like I say, with AI and stuff, I really do see single player repacks probably kicking off within the next 5 years, even more so than they already have. So, and that goes for other video games as well. It's just gonna get better. I mean, there's so much you can do with AI right now, also. Like, for me, it's just sped up coding exponentially. I think it's a really bad idea to rely on AI for, you know, complete coding. But it's good to help you bridge small gaps. The problem is when people try to use it for bigger gaps, that's kind of when you run into issues with stability and things functioning like they should. But I think if you use it for, you know, automating the small stuff that you don't really want to do, or maybe if you want to have someone to soundboard your code off of, it's really good at, like, if you want to optimize a portion of your code, it's really good at that. But I think coding in general will always have a need for actual people, just for creativity purposes, but really hard to replace with AI. And I know, you know, we have art and stuff now that's pretty creative, but yeah. It has me excited more than scared. I think that was all the pylons, right? I don't think I missed any up top. I love it when my bots actually slow me when they need to. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's good. And GitHub Copilot's pretty good too for filling in the blanks. And it's really nice not having to manually type out all your SQL queries anymore. Like, if you have a list of things that you want to filter through, just give it to ChatGPT and be like, hey, you know, I'm trying to find these entries in item template, and can you take it from this list? It's good at that. So it's cut back on that side of stuff too, but yeah. Yep. And it also just helps you learn. Like, if you treat it as a learning tool, it is awesome, because then you don't have to go to classes for stupid things that you don't really need to learn. Like, I've seen so many coding classes start out with this hello world stupid example. I get so sick of that. So it's nice to be able to just ask questions and it use actual references and know what I'm talking about. And it's also relevant to what I'm doing, so yeah. So let's see, Hunter Skill Animal Companion, where you have 2 pets at once. You know, I think it is possible in a Wrath client. It's been a while since I've looked at it, because I have considered that in the past. I have to think about it. I think it's probably coded core side, the limit on hunter pets at once. Let me look at the spell real quick, because I'm just kind of curious as to how that works. Let's do this. So I think it's 883 is the spell ID. Summon pet. Yeah, so I'd probably just look at the code for summon pet and see what that entails, and then maybe the first 2 slots of whatever is in your what do you call it? Pet stable, I guess. That would be what you would use. Or you could see if you could maybe duplicate the same pet twice, right? I think for duplicating the same pet twice, though... Yeah, let me look into it. I'll look into it, because I think that would be really fun for Beast Mastery, at least. You know. I gotta put it on my to-do list. I let my bots do this while I write a note. Animal Companion. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I really do think that... What is it? There's also like a stampeding spell, I can't remember the name of it, where it's just a bunch of creatures that charge, I guess. I'd like to do something like that for hunters too. I mean, I think warlocks... I don't know. I've done a little bit of work on warlocks recently. Let me think about it. I'll look at it. No promises. I feel like warlocks fairly solid, but Beast Mastery definitely needs some help. Even with the changes I've implemented. I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario with the pets, we could at least just have a generic AI second pet that copies whatever the first pet does. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, Stampede. I think Demonology could probably do something like... I've thought about different... What have I thought about with Warlock? Honestly, I don't play a whole lot of Warlock. But I do think that having more minion stuff for Warlocks in general would be good. Like, 1 imp doesn't feel like enough ever. Yeah, I'll think about it. I'm just thinking. I hate making promises and not following up on them, but I'll think about it. For Warlocks. I know there's a Gul'dan type spell where you summon a meteor and a bunch of warlock or like imps pop out. I think something like that would be fun too. I've been looking at some code for imps for a couple spells for warlocks that I think could be fun. But again, I have to play around with things. Most of the time, when I have like a new idea for a class or something, it's usually just the kernel of an idea, so it's hard for me to talk about without actually sitting down and testing things out or writing it out. But I think it'd be fun if you could have like warlocks that imps that you summon temporarily that attach themselves to nearby units and explode after a short period of time, kind of like the snowbolts in Trial of the Crusader. I have to figure out how that attachment system works, though. And I think it's just a mounted attachment or something like that, but yeah. Yeah, and honestly, when it comes to just development in general, oh, it looks like I already got all the pylons. The biggest hang up for anything is always your creativity, so if you lose creativity, then it's harder to do fun things. So creativity and motivation are probably the biggest hurdles to overcome. Because as long as you can figure out the code, which you should be able to most of the time, then everything else is possible. It's just the creative elements like the hardest for me, at least. So yeah. So this guy has a frontal cone now. He also summons a couple imps at 50%. But like I say, he's remained relatively the same. I did make it so that his teleport also targets creatures so that they target bots, but it looks like they're targeting totems as well. So that's okay. That's a pretty minor thing, I guess. Yeah, it just keeps doing the totem. That's hilarious. Alright, so here's the little imps that come out. And they're just kind of fun to AoE down, honestly. Not a huge threat. I think one of these days I think it'd be good to do a guide on smart AI and creature scripts. More on the database side of things rather than in Lewis scripting or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked on legendary items for a while, but I am working on the trinkets eventually again, because I still need to do one final upgrade for them for vanilla. But yeah, as far as the like legendary system, the artifact type system, I haven't thought about that for a while, and I probably won't think about that until Wrath, because I think the biggest issue with those is, yeah, Shaman can be pretty awesome. I think the biggest issue with like artifact weapons in general is just the power creep, and so you'd want to do those late game. But yeah, legendary weapons in general though, yeah, I still need to revamp the Taish Lash, because that's just a drop off the second or the custom boss in BWL, and I don't really want that. So I might make it something that you craft out of the Eye of Sulfuras. I would like some of the legendary weapons to be upgradable later on in later expansions, but I also don't want to completely nullify a certain weapon slot, so it's got to be challenging to actually be able to acquire. Yeah, because that's the thing with those systems is, like artifact weapons, you're basically nullifying weapon slots for the entire expansion. So just makes all other drops transmog at that point. Which isn't bad, it's just not necessarily the way I want it to work out. But I try really hard to think about balancing things, and I know sometimes it doesn't work out the way I want to, and so I end up having to adjust things, but that's part of the game. And sometimes I'm stubborn about certain things for a while before I realize, okay, yeah, that's a little bit overpowered. But Like, but one thing I try not to worry about too much is PvP balance. I don't care. I'm sorry. Like, if it were a public realm with lots of players on it, then I might care. But as a single player server with bots, I really don't care as much. My focus is first and foremost on the PvE content because that's what it is. And you know, you can call bot content PvP content all you want, but it's still PvE content. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I thought the system was fantastic. Like, it gave you this thing to work on all the time. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just a good one. Let's do Iron Forge. Yeah. And it was like, the thing that I liked about it too is basically bringing back the talent system. So, yeah. It's also harder to balance around PvP because skill sets of players are so vastly different when it comes to PvP that it's not like, unless you have a good way to track that kind of data, you can't really balance around PvP unless you want to make it super boring. One thing I liked about, you know, vanilla PvP is that the fights usually lasted like 10 seconds. Now if you're on retail, they last like 10 minutes. It's like, okay, I don't like that. I just do not like that meta. So, I've seen some fights last a lot longer than that too. Speaking of PvP, I want to do a battleground real quick. So, here's why it's really hard, because I have a lot of cool racials, right, which are really useful for PvE and pretty overpowered for PvP. So I'll show you guys a build where it makes Warsong Gulch really stupid easy. So I'm taking Spatial Rift and Fell Rush, and yeah, I could disable Spatial Rift in PvP, but I'm not going to. I've done that for, what is it? Make Camp, but I haven't done it for Spatial Rift yet, and maybe I will eventually if someone complains loud enough. But so one of the issues right now with Paladins is the amount of movement, mobility that they have right now. They have Holy Leap, they have Divine Steed. Divine Steed, granted, you can't use while you are capturing a flag, but you can also pick up Fell Rush, which I've increased to a 30-second cooldown, up from 26. And then, of course, Spatial Rift is a thing that you can use too. So, you know, the biggest thing is, let's do Spatial Rift. Let me grab Fell Rush real quick. I can do my ABCs, I promise. Yeah, I mean, Holy Leap having 26 second cooldowns, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I like it right now because I'm playing Paladin, so obviously that's what I'm going to go for, but you know, all the bots right now only have 40% mount or 60% mounts, right? And here I am using Divine Steed twice. And then I'm going to get on my mount. And I also have a Spatial Rift timer, by the way. That's part of a new add-on that I implemented, and I'm just working on, but... So I got 2 charges of Divine Steed back up, which means I can use it to get to the flag easier. Grab the flag, hit Spatial Rift. Ta-da. It's so dumb. Like, And now I'm just gonna wait. Man. That really probably needs to be disabled in PvP. Or I need to put a range on it. Like, retail has a range on it, but I don't know. I find it funny at the moment. Alright, let's do it again. You ready? I didn't even use Fell Rush that time. There you go. Fell Rush. But, I mean, if you want to play the game this way, great. I don't find it entertaining. I find it much better to actually play the game. But it is a current method, I guess you could say. So, right, and you can't change, you can't change these while you're actually in a battleground, but still, it's like probably the quickest Warsong Gulch ever played. But, and I think Spatial Rift is a good ability. It's just, yeah, probably not for PvP. Yeah, you can add NPCs to battlegrounds. You have to, well, basically, how do you do it? So it's kind of like dungeons where there's different levels of NPCs. I'll show you in 2 seconds. Actually, let me just show you now. Let's see, ramparts. Let me look at ramparts. That's a good example. So, Watcher Gargolmar. Actually, I think even the Alteric Valley has examples of this, but Watcher Gargle. Hold on. You could do that. Yeah. You just have to create different difficulty entries. Actually, let's do Galvanar. General Galv? What's his name? What's his actual full name? Galvanar. Now I need to look this up. Alteric Valley. Captain Galvanar, alright. So yeah, so here is the base ID for Captain Galvanar, right? And he is level 60. And then you have these other difficulty entries. So this is probably the 70 version, 75 and 80 or something like that. So if you do, so let's look at 2206. So 2206 is 22606 actually, I think it was, right? Yeah, so this is the level 71 version. So basically, as long as you have I don't know how it's coded in for things like Warsong Gulch, but if you wanted to do it for level 60 Warsong Gulch, that's basically how you do it. So you do a level 60 mob, and they can guard those flags, and then you could create additional difficulty layers if you wanted to for 70 and 80, but I'd have to look at the code for how those are implemented core side, because I know it's based on your bracket, and it's probably, so yeah, I mean, It probably just goes based off of what the level bracket is, actually. Yeah. But I didn't put Spatial Rift back down, so... Yeah. Might not be a bad idea for a single-player project to do something like that. And bots are pretty good about, you know, guarding for the most part, but right now I'm in pretty good gear for my level. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, probably. But level 60 PvP battlegrounds are a little bit more challenging. Oh, and there comes all the friends. so they're actually good at guarding if you don't cheat. So just don't use Spatial Rift and they'll actually protect their flag. But yeah, I should probably just disable that for PvP. An altar time is the same, but it only lasts 10 seconds. Oh, you're right. I can't use that. Because it's a mount spell. And that's a dumb idea too, but... oh well. Yeah. It's pretty good at guarding. And bots will go after flags too, they just usually like to fight mid for some reason. So, it's probably the pathing that trigger is made. Oh, Hammer of Justice is off cooldown. Dang it! Okay. I couldn't drop another Spatial Rift. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. But see, like, ours are going back to defend, and I'm sure that they have some that are trying to go pick up the flag. It's just most of them are mid at the moment, so... But yeah, kite for days. In fact, I'm trying to remember... There's a couple ways to disable spells in PvP. You could do it via the... I think you can do it via spell DBC. I've always just hard-coded it in. I'll show you how to do that. Yeah. I could have it reset if I moved out of like 50 yards or something like that. It would have to be a timer to check though. So I'd have to have a dummy periodic effect checking every second to make sure that you've stayed within range of your initial Spatial Rift, but I'd rather be able to drop Spatial Rift wherever I want for PvE reasons. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be like a game object too, but let's see. Spatial Rift. Stone Harry's just came out with a new version of this. So yeah, it doesn't look like there is. I'm sure that there's a look at custom attributes real quick, because if you can always do things on rather than hard coding things in, then great. But yeah, so I'll just hard code it and probably go into scripts. So again, like, I'll give you a good example of how to do this. Actually, if I open ChatGPT, it's going to dox me, so hold on. So, for example, if you wanted ChatGPT to not be in battlegrounds, if you wanted to tell ChatGPT, hey, I don't want this spell to be used in battlegrounds, it'll come up with the if map is battleground code for you and put it in. That's just a super easy way to check it in to use. So, for example, handle on cast right here. I think, oops, hold on, I have that backwards. So player, get caster to player, object gid, auto iterate, yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's dumb and doesn't exactly know what it's doing, but yeah, so I mean that's how you do it. If player is in battleground, spell cannot be used in battlegrounds, X is the function. And that just saved you like 3 minutes of typing. So kind of funny. I've got someone knocking on my door, so I've got to run, unfortunately. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you had fun, and I will see you guys on the other side of Azeroth. Sorry for stopping stream early. Talk to you soon.